Okay, so we're going to continue talking about solving equations. Now, this is a multi-step equation. What you know may be different is that we have a variable, or an x, on both sides of the equal sign. So we're going to go ahead and draw our wall. First thing I want to look for, I don't have anything to distribute here. There are no parentheses. I don't have like terms that I'm going to combine on the same side. So I don't have any like terms over here, and I don't have any like terms on the right-hand side. But I do notice that I have variables on both sides of the equal sign. So how do we deal with that? We want to get all the variables to one side of our equal sign first. Now, what I would suggest is moving your smallest number. So for example, on a number line, if I had -2 and -8, -8 is the smallest number. Meaning, if you think of it in terms of money, if I owed $2, that's not quite as bad as if I owed $8. So because it's worse to owe 8, -8 is that smaller number. You have less money, so to speak. So I'm going to get rid of this. You would not be wrong if you got rid of this -2x, if you move that to the other side. But I'll show you why I always choose the smallest number first. So the opposite of a -8x is a positive 8x. Whatever I do to one side of my equal sign, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to add 8x over here as well. Now, I didn't do anything with this 1, so I have 1, a -2x plus an 8x is going to give me a positive 6x. So 1 plus 6x equals 13. I'm just going to bring that straight down. Now, I have my variable on one side of the equation. Now I want to isolate it. I want to get it by itself. How do I do that? I'm going to move this positive 1. We know it's positive because there's no sign out in front. So to move a positive 1, I need to undo it by subtracting 1 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, bring down my 6x, and this is going to be equal to 12. Now, to isolate or get x by itself, the opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. So when I divide both sides by 6, I get that x equals 2. Now with this other one, if you can solve this equation, you can solve virtually any equation. You have distributive property. We're going to combine like terms, and we have variables on both sides. So just one step at a time. You see parentheses. When you see parentheses, know that you have to distribute. Now, we have a positive 6. So when I distribute that, I'm going to take this positive 6 and multiply it to the -8x and to the positive 2. So I'm going to multiply that term, positive 6, to every term on the inside of the parentheses. So we're not going to do anything with this 4x, so we're going to just bring this down. After I distribute, 6 times a -8x is going to be a -48x. A positive 6 times a positive 2 is going to be a positive 12. And then equals, we have a -33 plus x. Now, still looks like a big equation, and that's because it is. But look for something to combine. Look for like terms on just the same side of the equal sign. So if I draw my wall to give myself a visual, I have no like terms over here that I can combine. An x, a variable, can't be combined with a number just by adding or subtracting. Over here though, notice how I have a 4x and a -48x. These are like terms. I can combine those. So we're just going to read from left to right. So 4 minus 48 is going to be a -44. So I get -44x, do not lose your variable when you're combining like terms, plus 12 is going to be equal to a -33 plus our 1x. We don't normally put a 1 in front of it, but we just know there is a 1 there. Now, no more like terms to combine, but I do have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. So I need to get those on the same side. I think it's easier to move the smallest number first. So on a number line, it's better to have $1 in your bank than to owe $44 to your bank. So the smallest number is this -44x. So I'm going to move that to the other side of the equal sign. How do I do that? By adding 44x to both sides with its like term. So I'm not adding 44x to the -33 because they don't have the same variable. What I have left now, I have this positive 12 that's going to be brought down, equals this -33 is going to be brought down, And a 1x plus a 44x gives me 45x. Finally, I want to isolate x, or get x by itself. So how I start that is by adding 33 to both sides. The opposite of subtracting, or a negative 33, is a positive 33. So I'm going to add 33 to both sides. So what I have is 45 equals 45x. Now what? So undo multiplying by 45 is the same as dividing by 45. And 45 divided by 45, anytime you have a number divided by itself, it's going to be 1, meaning that 45 goes into itself one time. So we did all that work just to get that x equals 1. And that is why so many of you just absolutely love math.